between the parenting and everything in. And if you're a returning audience, I want to say a very big thank you for staying rights, teenagers' rights, and parental responsibilities from a legal perspective. Yes, which means that we have our guest in the house who is a barrister. I know that many times we usually say Nigeria does not have law. Nigeria is a lawless state. The laws are for the poor. The law is the law that. Well, we have with us today in the studio a barrister who is going to talk to us what are the rights of teenagers and what are the responsibilities of parents legally that are recognized by the law. So without wasting time, we're going to bring in our guest with me, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome with me, Barrister Titilope Alabi. Welcome, Barrister Titi.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are watching from. It's so good to
Good
be on the
evening.
show. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting to do this, Barrister Titilope.
You are welcome.
All right, so like I said, our topic is teenagers' rights and parental responsibilities, a legal perspective. I'm going to start with this
Yeah.
first question, Barrister Titi. What are some
Okay.
basic legal rights that every teenager should know about? What rights do teenagers have that every Nigerian teenager should know about?
So aside being a teenager, every human being has rights. Whether you're a
True.
teenager, you're an adult, male or female, babies, all human beings have rights, as embedded in Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended.
Mm,
There are a list of them in that chapter 4. We have right to life, and we have right to dignity of human persons. We have right to fair hearing, right to join any association of your choice. You have the right to religion. You have a right to freedom. We have so many rights that the Constitution seeks to protect as as citizens of Nigeria. So aside these general rights that we all have as human beings, there's right to move, to free movement, you know, right to freedom from discrimination, right to acquire property and own property. There are a lot of them. So those are the general rights that we all have as human beings or as citizens of Nigeria, which is in the constitution. So aside that, there's what we call the Child Rights Act of 2003. This act only seeks to protect children, So aside the general rights which we have in the Constitution, this Child Rights Act seeks only to protect children. Then, who is a child? A child is any person under the age of 18 years. So from 0 to 18 years, you are a child. And this Child Rights Act is for those below 18 years. A child can also be referred to as a minor. Whenever you want to probably enter into a contract or do something, they tell you that even marriage, that a minor is not entitled to get married. A minor is not allowed to do this. A minor is not allowed to drive. So a minor is also a child is also referred to as minors. So this right is provided by the Child Rights Act of 2003, and the Act states the best that the best interest of a child should be of paramount consideration in all actions. So what this act seeks to protect is what?
mm,
The interest of every child. It puts into consideration the interest of every child. So now we have right to survival and development. Every child has the right to survival and the right to development. We have the right to a name. Every child that is born has to be given a name according to this Child's Rights Act. And this is because if anything happens, or if uh, it might not even be the commission of a crime, but if anything happens, you're able to trace it that, okay, this is the person that did this thing. The person has a name. So if each child has a name and then something happens, or something, maybe a crime was committed, you'll be able to say that so person committed this crime because he or she already has a name. So every child has a right to a name. And Every child, every birth must be registered in accordance with the provisions of the Birth Death Act. So as soon as the child is brought to the world, you register the child that this child was born so 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 date and so 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 date at so 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 place. And of course, the child's name too will be registered. So that then we also have the right to leisure, recreation, and cultural activities. Every child has the right, even the country as it is should make sure that children enjoy this right. Right to leisure, right to recreation. That's why in um in most states during Children's Day, you see that the state organize programs for children, organize recreational programs for children. It is embedded in this Child Rights Act. Even as parents, you should not deprive your children of this right. Right to leisure, to recreation, and then cultural activities, to participate in cultural activities. It helps in their development. So that is why it is included in the act. Also, every child is entitled to enjoy the best attainable state of physical, mental, and spiritual health. So, whatever it is that you'll be doing to a child, you have to make sure that you are not affecting the physical health of the child, the mental health of the child, or the spiritual health of the child. All these things I'm saying, they are embedded in the act. And if a child if a child goes decides that okay, oh, today I'm not enjoying this thing from my parents, they can actually sue them.
Hmm.
But we'll get to
So
that.
a
We'll
child
get
can
to that.
sue this or her parents.
Yes, he can, but not how would I put it now? He can, but not in his own capacity.
Okay.
He can select a representative, so to say. He can select either an adult or what's it called now? Guardian ad litem. That is a person appointed by a court to protect the interest of a minor who cannot represent themselves in the legal proceedings. So it's not like you cannot
Okay.
sue, but you cannot sue as a person. You have to be represented by an adult. Understand? So he can sue, he or she can sue the
Okay.
parent for failing to meet their obligations, like I said earlier. So you failure to you refuse to provide for your children or your teenager, neglect or abuse, denial of education, you can take your parents to court. So as I was saying on as I was saying on the rights of a child. So every child is entitled to enjoy, okay, I've said that. Right to parental care, protection and maintenance. As a country, you have to protect the children as parents, as guardians, as community leaders. You have to seek to protect the children. No child shall be separated from his parents against the wish of the child. It is also embedded in the act. No child shall be separated against from his parents against the wish of the child. That's why in divorce cases, yeah, in divorce cases, the court seeks to protect the interest of the child or children if there are children in the marriage. Whatever decision the court wants to take between the husband and the wife, the court seeks to protect the children or child, as the case may be. So if the court weighs, okay, if the mother has the custody of the child, will it be favorable to the child? If the father has the custody of the child, will it be favorable to the child? So these are the things that the court will consider. So, but all this is still based on the fact that the interest of the child has to be protected. So, no child shall be separated from his parents except against the wish of the child, except for the purpose of education, that is boarding house, or probably the school is far away from where the parents are. Yeah, still boarding house. So that is the only exception. You understand? So the or welfare or like I said, maybe judicial determination in court. I said, okay, oh, we have decided that let the children be with either the mother or the father, or even uh, grandparents in some cases if both mother and father are not capable enough to accommodate the children.
Okay.
So anything that would affect the mental health of the children, the court will definitely try to avoid that. So, right to free and compulsory education. Free, free in the sense that for basic education, the country has a right to make sure that children have free basic education. That's why in most states you see that primary education
Yeah.
is free. Is
Mm.
free, except for parents who are very buoyant and like, no, I can't take my children to government school. I'll take them to private school. But at least the government itself has provided free basic education. So it is now left to parents if you want to take your child to government school, fine. And if you don't want to, if you can afford to take them to a private school, fine. But then the government has made provision for free basic education. Then, as parents too, we have the right to train these children up to the primary school, secondary school level. If after GSS 3, the parents sees that ah, I'm not buoyant enough to train this child to senior secondary school, then this act also states that you can register this child to learn a trade. You can register the child to learn an appropriate trade, and this and the employer of the child will provide all the things that the child needs to learn the trade. So the
Mm.
fact that you don't have money is not, yes, it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse to say, I don't have money to train this child beyond GSS 3 or secondary school. Let me just hands off and leave him, let him be on the street. If such child or such teenager becomes aware that you are you have to protect his right, you have to give him a good education, he can take an action against you as a parent or as a guardian. So even if you don't have enough financially to train him in secondary school, you can let him learn a trade, barbing, uh, hairdressing, fashion designing. That still counts as education. So basically, that's about the rights of the child as embedded in Child Rights Act. We also have responsibilities. You know, there are rights and there are responsibilities. You get, so as a child, you won't just say yes, yes. I know my right. I know my. Then you start misbehaving. No, you hold your parents, you hold the society, you hold the government responsibilities. So one of that is that every child has responsibility towards his family, his society, and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In fact, and even other legally recognized communities. So when you leave Nigeria and you are a Nigerian child and you go outside the country, you still owe those in that country responsibility,
Mm.
of being a good Nigerian. So a child shall respect his parents, superiors, and elders at all times, and assist them in case of need. That's like if you see a well trained child, hmm, if you see a well trained child, he or she doesn't even have to know you. Once they just see you, maybe passing or you're carrying something heavy, please let me help you, let me assist you. That's one of the responsibilities children owe adults or parents or guardians, somebody that is older
So
than you.
that responsibility of seeing an elder carrying something and you helping is legally recognized.
Yes, it's in the act.
Mm.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. All these things is when I started, I said the act seeks to protect the interest of the child. All this is part of training. It's part of training the child to become a better person. You get. So a child shall serve the Federal Republic of Nigeria by placing his physical and intellectual abilities at the service. Physical and intellectual, that is using your physical strength and using your brain to serve your country, to serve your parents, to serve your elders. There's a saying that in Yoruba that says, "Oju is it oju meji abi oju kan lo ma n bi omo," and then thousands of eyes watch over the child. So that is just the case.
Mm.
So you don't only owe your parents responsibilities, you owe elders, you owe other people in the society
Elders.
as a child
Mm.
such responsibilities too. So also you respect the ideas of democracy, freedom, equality, humaneness, honesty, and justice for all persons. When you know that there's a responsibility like this for you to carry out, the crime rates among children would reduce drastically. You know that yes, I have to respect, okay, freedom, this person has freedom of movement. I should not restrict this person. Equality, humaneness, like you have human feeling towards your friends or towards another person. You will not be thinking that I want to harm this person or I want to do something evil to this person. Honesty and justice for all persons. These are all responsibilities that children or teenagers hold to their parents, their elders, even and to the country at large. Then also relate with other members of the society with different cultural values in the spirit of tolerance, dialogue, and consultation. Like, regardless of your tribe, your gender, your skin color, your race, you relate with everybody accordingly. You don't discriminate and say, no, no, you are female, or you are Igbo, or you are Yoruba. I don't relate with you. No, as children, if they don't start living their lives that way, even as adults, they will become responsible adults. Because as children, if you can relate with anybody, any person from any tribe, from any country, from any culture, from different languages, and then you can relate very well. Even as adults, you'll be a better person. So those are some of the responsibilities that children hold to the parents,
Okay.
elders, and the country at large.
Thank you. In fact, many of these laws, I'm hearing them for the very first time. So Nigeria has laws. Now the thing is, if children should start suing their parents, hey, we're going to have many court cases
A lot of
because we have
cases,
many parents who are not, fulfilling their duties as parents. Many
responsibilities.
of many of
Yeah.
these rights that you have stated, we have children who are not enjoying these rights. So if children are to
Mm-hmm.
start suing their parents, we are going to have many court cases. Now you
A
make
lot of
mention
course.
of the fact that teenagers' rights are basically human rights, but there's a special provision for children, which is the Child Rights Act. Now, once a
Yes.
teenager gets to the age of 18, you said the Child Rights Act is applicable to those below 18, those that are called
Yes.
minors. Once a child reaches
Yes.
18, so all other the rights under the Child Rights Act does not apply to them anymore.
He has become an adult.
He has become an
He has become an
adult.
adult.
Okay.
So his rights are still embedded in the constitution.
As the general basic human
Yes.
rights.
The ones in the constitution are still in the Child Rights Act. So I just mentioned the
Okay.
additional ones that are
Additional
not in the
ones, yeah.
constitution. That are not in the constitution for children. So once he or she becomes an adult, he still has rights under the constitution.
Okay. Okay. Then
Yes.
you can sue personally once he or
Of
she gets
once
to
you
the
are
age of
18, you're an
18.
adult, you can drive, you can enter into a contract, you can sue and be sued.
Mm,
You can
okay.
take any legal step once you are 18. You can get married. Children cannot get married. Children
But
cannot
would
get
you
married.
but would you
Children,
would
child,
you agree with
okay.
me? Would you agree with me that in some parts of Nigeria we have children who are getting married?
Yes, yes. In the
So
north,
is it that a different law applies to them?
the thing is, this is Nigeria. Mm? And then the north is, I would say the north is like another country on its own outside Nigeria, if I'll put it that way. Because in the north, actually, in this part, in the west, south, and other parts of the aside the north, our
Yeah.
supreme law is the constitution.
Okay.
You understand? This is the constitution of the Republic of Nigeria. Every other law, when any other law is in conflict with the constitution, whatever the constitution says stands.
Okay.
That is for us. But then in the north, they believe in Sharia law. They believe that their Sharia law supersedes the constitution.
The constitution. Okay.
So and then the Sharia law accept that they can get married to children
Wow.
there. So, but these days there have been so many sensitization, awareness. That is what has at least reduced it to a bare minimum. But not that it doesn't still happen there. It happens there. Child marriage happens there. So, but it's just some women association, FIDA, and some other groups have been coming up to say no, no child marriage. In fact, is in the act. Child marriage is an offense. It's an offense, and the it's an offense, and the if the person is convicted, is liable to imprisonment or fine or both, or 5 years or 500,000 naira or both. Even child betrothal also is an offense under this Child Rights Act. That maybe as soon as you give birth to your child, you say, Mr. Lagbaja, this will be your wife. The way they betrothed back in the days. This will be your wife when she's 18 years old. So maybe the man will start paying bride price from when the baby is born, and start saying, as she's growing up, my wife, I've paid your bride price, my wife. So it's also an offense.
Hmm.
So I know that, yes, if teenagers or children know this, and then maybe in life they encounter such kind of thing, they can run to court and say, this man wants to marry me by force, and I don't want to get married to him. I'm still a young girl.
Hmm.
So
But
it's
the thing
also
is,
an offense. Yeah.
how many of us actually know our rights? Like I said, some of these laws, I'm hearing them for the first time.
Hearing for the
How
first
many
time.
of
Yeah.
us actually know our rights in this country?
The thing
Is
is,
there?
we okay.
Continue, go on.
Okay, the thing is, we Nigerians, we are very lazy. We don't like to read. Someone said, if you want to
If you want to
hide
hide
something,
something, keep it in a book.
something, keep it in a book, because we will not read it.
You
Aside,
will.
aside, aside the hard copy book, even soft copy on our phone, we open our phone and press our phone every day. When you download an app and they ask you, okay, do you accept the terms and conditions? You will not even read the terms and conditions.
I
You just
accept.
accept. I accept. If they say they're going to kill you like day after tomorrow, I
I
accept.
accept.
They are too lazy to do. So that's the thing. All these things are online.
Hmm.
You just need to just Google, okay, what are my rights? Why can police check my phone? Press it, Google it, answer will come. What are the things? What are the times I can commit that will make police arrest me? Or how long should police detain me in the police station? All these things are online.
Yeah, okay. True that it's true that all these things can be online, but in this Nigeria, how many people have we actually seen get justice? Like when we think
People get
about the whole
okay.
process and in the end, there's no justice. People don't want to come out, to take court cases or something. And how many have we seen actually get justice for these rights?
People get justice. It's just that those whose rights are violated don't take steps. Fundamental human rights taken is is taken very seriously. Even a criminal, no, let me say criminal, someone who commits an offense, probably let's say, let me even take the gravest one as an example, murder. Someone commits murder and then is charged to court. Is what? Is presumed innocent until proven guilty. That is what the law says. That is because of his fundamental human right that is embedded in the Constitution. You
Hmm.
can't say because, in fact, catch him with the head of the human being, he's still presumed innocent
Hmm.
until he gets to court, and then they're able to prove it that yes, he actually killed the person and cut off the person's head. Because the rights are taken very, very seriously. So if you say that your rights have been violated, go to court. People don't go to court when their rights are being violated. That is why you think there is no that they don't get justice. People don't go to court. You just feel like, oh, let's just like, oh, they say wala. And like Yoruba will say, they will say that no two persons go to court and come back as friends.
And come back as friends. Yes.
So that's just, it's not like justice is done. If you take your step, go to court, prove your case, the other person prove his case, you'll get justice. But we don't take steps when our rights are being violated. We don't do anything about it.
Hmm.
When you don't do anything about it, will the court come to your house to come and ask you that did anybody violate your right? So you have to take steps. That's just it.
Hmm. Thank you. Somebody asked the question here. It says, "Can't it be enforced that the supreme law should supersede the Sharia law, even in the north?"
This the northerners, like I said, like they're like the another country of their own. The supreme law in Nigeria is the constitution, but they have just chosen say we do not, not that the constitution is not being used there. It is, but when it comes to that Sharia, they take it very, very, very important. So even if it is, the enforcement is the problem. Even
Hmm.
if we they put guns to their head and say no, you must make the constitution your supreme law, not Sharia. Enforcement is the problem. So that is, they believe that whatever the Quran says or whatever the Sharia says, that is the supreme. Then the constitution comes after. That
Okay.
that that is
I have
just that
another
is just
question.
their own. Okay.
Okay, I have another question here from an audience, and it says, "What of those that took steps and were denied justice in this country?" I mean, we see on social
Nine.
media many times, maybe a rape case or a murder case, and steps were taken, but we just stopped hearing about the news. Or we've seen people where
And
they
the,
will
the
just
fact that
arrest
okay,
the suspect, and after a while, we see the suspect roaming the streets again. So, what the question says, "What of those that took steps and were denied justice in this country?"
took steps and what kind of steps did they take? Did they get to court and then the court says okay, your right was not violated, or taking steps. Of course, you have to get a lawyer, and then you have to prove that your right was violated. You can't just say my right was violated. How? Excuse me. How do you prove it in court that your or did you prove it in court that your right was violated? You know,
So they have to be a solid proof.
of course, you have to have evidence. The court thrives on evidence. You have to have evidence. You can't just come by word of mouth and say, ah, this person did this and this to me. How do you prove it before the court? You have to have strong evidence. So if you don't have any proof, you don't have anything to show that yes, this thing happened to me. Because the court was not there when it happened. So it is your own duty
Yeah.
to bring it before the court and say, okay, this is this and this and this is these are the evidences I have. And then the court will decide based on what is before the court. So the fact that the person was denied does not mean that he was denied justice. Justice was served. It was not just in your favor.
Mm.
Yes, it's a two-way sword. It's a what's it called? It's a sword. Yeah, two-edged sword. So it might be your favor today and not be your favor tomorrow. That's justice. But justice will be served.
Wow. Thank you. In fact,
Yeah,
this is
welcome.
very interesting. Okay, so now let's move back to teenagers and parents. All right, now when a
Okay.
teenager is now up to the age of 18, there are some,
Yeah.
in fact, majority are still under their parents. let's use this Gen Zs as example, who are all on social media. If a
Yeah.
teenager should commit an offense on social media, will the parents be held responsible? Will the
If please
parents
come
be held
again.
responsible? I said if
Please come again. If
a teenager should commit an offense, maybe a social media, online bullying, or a criminal offense. I don't know what criminal offense is, but an offense, sha, because I'm speaking with a lawyer. She's
online,
not going to I did not understand. Will the
but
parents
online.
online, yes, social media online, will the
Okay.
parents be
Okay.
held responsible? Or what is the role of that
The,
parent in that situation?
directly, the parents will not be held responsible, but indirectly,
Okay.
legally, the parents will not be held responsible, but morally, the parents will be held responsible because uh, why would you expose your child to internet or to online visibility that early? I know
Okay.
children of even a 13-year-old already knows is on all social media. So I think fine, there are pros and cons, there are advantages and disadvantages of being
Yeah.
of having an online presence.
Yeah.
So, but the disadvantages is more than the advantages. So, in order to, it's part of discipline and training your children. Mm. So, in order to curb all these things, cyberbullying, in order to curb it, is better for parents to know that okay, oh, let my child stay off this. When he's 18 years old, he has become an adult and have full access to online visibility and do whatever he wants. But prior to that period, if he needs a smartphone for assignment, let it be under supervision.
Even
You
at the age
monitor.
of 18?
I said before 18.
Okay.
I said before 18. If he has a school homework he needs the internet to do, let it be under supervision. In fact, there are apps to monitor what your children do on the phone. You monitor who they call, you monitor who they chat with, you monitor the apps that they have access to. So if parents can do this, we'll have less of teenagers coming online to bully or to harass people or to commit offenses online. So I believe if such a child is caught and they take any action against him, directly he'll be responsible for his actions.
Hmm.
But indirectly it will still fall back on no,
Independent.
all these skills that we see online of teenagers or children just doing silly things online, and people will be like, yeah, that where's the mother of this child? So that's just the case. It will still fall back on the parent that this person's parent has failed. But as a teenager, or if you commit a crime, you will serve the punishment. You will
Hmm.
serve the punishment. Even if you serve the punishment, we have juvenile homes for child offenders.
Okay.
So you might not just be put in the prison where adult criminals are kept, but you will serve the punishment of whatever offense that you commit. So don't think because
So
you are less than 18 you can commit
legally,
an offense and go away with it. No.
whoever commits the offense is the one that will serve the punishment at any age.
Yes, yes,
Okay, okay,
yes.
okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, what does the law recognize as discipline? And what is the boundary between discipline and abuse according to the law?
Well, discipline is the act of teaching a child, mm, a child to obey rules. Don't do this, do that. This is the right way to go. This is not the right way to go. You practice self-control, correct negative behaviors in your children. Put teach them according in the line that you want them to grow in. So by encouraging behaviors that can benefit children as they grow up. You start from the scratch. That's discipline. You start from their cradle age. This is what I want. My okay, you would have you of course you have a goal of what you want your child to be, not even profession or this time, but at least um, mentally, psychologically, this is what the kind of person I want my child to be. So from the cradle age, you would have been building it up, this is the path. This is the path I want you to follow, the training or hard discipline. So as they grow, all those discouraging behaviors, they do away with it. Anything that can harm them, any behavior that may harm them in future, you would have said, no, you don't go this path. This is the right path that you should go. So that is discipline, you know. But then abuse, on the other hand, is the act of intentionally harming a child, either verbally or physically. Some parents, when they think that they want to discipline their children and they just start raining curses on the children, how is that discipline? How is that discipline? The act
Okay,
only
okay.
supports.
Sorry,
The
let
act only
me let
supports the
me.
okay.
Sorry for cutting you. Now you have mentioned verbal abuse for a child who is below 18 that has been abused verbally by the parents. Now that child cannot sue but can be represented. Now, if the child sees
No, he,
someone
he
that
can sue, not just of course he can sue.
can sue
He was
but
the
be
one suing,
represented
but
in
somebody
court,
yes, yes.
okay, what evidence will the child now present? Verbal abuse. What evidence will the child present that I was verbally abused?
Children generally it is believed that children don't children are not how would I put it now? They are not manipulative like adults.
Okay.
So generally believe that if a child says I am experiencing this, he or she is experiencing it. So if you can have the boldness to say, okay, I'm taking my parents to court, knowing fully well that if everything goes as you want it to go, you'll be taken away from your parents. Will you go to court to lie? You would not now. So for a child to come out and say my parents abuse me, he or she must have been tired of the abuse and is affecting his mental state. I need to seek help. So there's no way a child will go to court and say my parents abuse me, it's affecting my mental health, and the court will not believe the child because he or she will know that if the case goes as they want it to go, it will be taken away from the parent. So if you are enjoying your parents and then you go and lie that your parents are abusing you, take it from your parents, that is your loss. That is your loss. So the court will definitely believe in such case. But if an adult is coming to court to say, my let's say for example, husband and wife say my husband abuses me, you have to prove it because we adults are very, very manipulative. So you
Sorry,
have to prove
somebody
it.
said, somebody said children lie. Oh, have you met
I'm
children?
not saying they don't lie.
Children with degree in lying.
I'm not saying they don't lie. Children lie. But like I said, when you know that the end result of what you are going to do in court is that you'll be taken away from your parents.
My parents.
So it's either it gives you
You
joy
will think
or
about
sadness.
it.
So if it's giving you joy, that means you have had enough of the abuse. So you think about it very well before you go to court. Do you understand? So I'm not saying children don't lie. They lie very well. So they are saying
Okay.
about abuse. So abuse is different from discipline. What the law certifies is discipline. Discipline your
Mm.
child so that he or she will become great. Even the Bible said so. So he or she will become great in future. But then how do we do this? Some parents abuse their children and they think it is
It's
discipline. They are
discipline.
two different
Mm.
things. So now let me these are the things when you find yourself doing these things to your children while you think you are correcting them, you are abusing them. Number one
Okay.
is excessive force. Are using force on your children. That is
Mm.
abuse. The strength that you'll be using with an adult, you're using it on your child.
Mm.
And say it is discipline. I want you to become great in life. That's why I'm doing this. No, you're going to affect the mental health of the child. Another thing is name calling. You're always calling the person name. You this fool, stupid boy. You're a dullard. You're this, you're that. You're not trying to correct the child. In fact, All those things will stick in the child's head. And as the child keeps growing up, even if he wants to achieve something good in life, he will fall back to those names that you called him. Like, I'm a dullard, I'm a dullard. I can't do
True,
this. I'm not
true,
smart.
true.
I'm not smart. I'm a fool. They said I'm a fool. You get. So you might not be seeing the result now, but it definitely affect them in future. So and that would be the parents' fault because you've violated the child's rights by calling him names. Then threatening. If you don't do this, I will do this to you. If you don't do this, I don't pay your school fees again. If you don't, that is not discipline. That is abuse.
Discipline. Mm.
It is not discipline. That is abuse. Then yelling or screaming. Some parents, if they've not screamed night home, they've not had conversation with the child. Screaming and yelling. I know for since we're talking about teenagers now, so screaming and yelling is even it, I'm not sure it does anything to them. Because if you've been screaming
Of
at a
course.
child, you've been screaming at a child since he or she was 2 years old, five,
And the
10,
teenager now.
15. And you see, you're still screaming as a teenager. Once I don't scream, just look at you. In his mind, he'll be saying, oh, when you're done shouting, let me know, let me go. Do you understand? So it's not every time. I know people who have toddlers, and you will scream. If you have toddlers, you will scream. but but not that kind of screaming, you know. Because of course toddlers you need to scream for toddlers to stop to do some things, to stop them from doing some things that would harm them, because of course they are toddlers, they don't know. So that one is different. But for a child who is already going, who is a teenager, yelling or screaming, it hardly it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. So if that is
For this
abuse,
screaming and yelling, our African mothers, they've left the group chat too.
African mothers have left the pictures. I'm telling you, we all experience it, and we all experience, and in a way, it helped shape some of us. Actually, it helped shape some of us. But you know that Yorubas will say, "Ayengi anto," like times are changing, and we also have to change with the time. The way parenthood was back then is not the way now. Parents are becoming wise and they're becoming more learned and be like, these are the things I should not do. Parents are becoming better, they're becoming better parents. We all want to become better parents than our parents. So then punching, kicking, beating, be punching your teenager, it doesn't do anything. That is not discipline. That is abuse. Then choking, eating a child with belt or another. Some people can just be angry. Just the child might be across the room and just carry broom and throw it at the child.
Our
That
African
is abuse.
mothers.
Now or turning stick, throw it at the
Or
child.
slippers.
So or slippers. So all those are not ways of instilling discipline in a child. They're just abuse. So we have to know where to cross the line, and
Wow.
where we have crossed the line. So they are two separate things.
I can say that 90% of Nigerian parents, they are abusing us.
They are abusing us. In fact, they abuse us.
They have abused us.
They've abused us. Yes, yes.
Wow,
But
wow,
they
wow.
are
This is
getting better.
very,
Parents are
very
getting
enlightening.
better. Mm. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
yes, yes. This is wow, wow. This is so enlightening. Men have been abused.
Mm.
As a psychologist, I can
Okay.
relate with that name calling. Like you said, they will
Mm.
not know the effect now. They will not know the impact now until when they
Until
grow and they
later.
begin to realize that they are not doing some things. Why? Because those names that they've been called is sticking with them, and it's
Yes,
trauma. That's trauma. The
yes,
trauma will now show
yes. That's
years to come. You know.
mm-hmm,
I hope
mm-hmm,
our
mm-hmm.
parents are, we have parents here who are watching and are learning. Thank you so very much,
You
Barrister
are
Titi.
welcome.
Now,
You are welcome.
somebody posted, maybe the person joined late, but the person posted that
Okay.
what freedoms are teenagers actually entitled to? I think those were the first things that you made mention of at the beginning of this session.
Yes, I've made
What
mention of
freedoms
them.
are teenagers actually entitled to by the law? So maybe you can help this person give a recap of the freedom that
Is the person
teenagers are
is the
entitled
person
to.
still online?
I guess so.
Okay. So I'll just go over it quickly again. There are some rights that are embedded in 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which are general rights that covers all human beings, either you're a teenager, a child, an adult, male or female. So we have right to life, right to dignity of human persons. Is in chapter 4, in case you want to check. Chapter 4 of the Federal Republic of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You see the different sections there, but they are all under chapter 4, and the title is Fundamental Human Rights. So if you want to read it up. So we have right to life, right to dignity of human person, right to personal liberty, right to fair hearing, right to private and family life, right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, right to freedom of expression and the press, right to peaceful assembly and association. You can join any group you want voluntarily. Nobody will force you to join group. If you don't want to join, fine, it's good. Right to freedom of movement, you can move about. Right to freedom from discrimination. You know, all these rights, they have exceptions, but I don't want to go into, like, for instance, this right to freedom of movement. Those in the prison, do they enjoy this right? They don't. So by the time you commit crime and then you are convicted, all these rights you will not enjoy all. There's only some
Or
that
if
you will
there's a
enjoy. You will not
curfew.
enjoy. If there's a curfew, of course, yes, there's a curfew you get. So, right to freedom from discrimination, right to acquire and own property. These are the general rights as embedded in the Constitution. Then, for the Child Rights Act, which is mainly or only for children, and children
Children.
is anybody under the age of 18 years old.
18.
So, we have the right to survival and development. You have the right to survive. Once your parents bring you to this life, they have the right to make sure that you survive.
Hmm.
Even as a country, Nigeria has the right to make sure that you survive as a child. Then the right to a name. Once you are giving birth to, you'll be given a name and your name will be registered. Your birth will be registered. Right to leisure, recreation, and then cultural activities. Children have the right to enjoy, go out, go for leisure, enjoy, recreation, partake of cultural activities or partake in cultural activities. Right to enjoy the best attainable state of physical, mental, and spiritual health. Your mental health is important to the government. Your spiritual health, your physical health is important to your parents, to the society, and to Nigeria at large. Right to parental care, protection and maintenance. Right to free and compulsory education. I said that you have right to free basic education as at primary school level. That's why we have government schools for primary school that are free.
Yeah.
So your parents must make sure that they are educated. So even if after JSS 3 your parents say that they're no longer financially buoyant to train you in senior secondary school, they can register you to learn a trade. It's still part of education. You can learn barbing, hairdressing, fashion design. It's still part of education, you know. So I also mentioned that children have responsibilities, yeah, towards his family, society, and the country at large. So he has responsibility to respect his parents, elders, and at all times and assist them in case of need. A child shall serve the country by placing his physical and intellectual abilities to his service. You must use your physical strength to serve your parents, to serve the country, and then your intellectual sense too, strength too, to serve your parents and then to serve the country. I don't know if I talk about legal responsibilities of parents.
No, you have
Have
not
we
touched
mentioned
that.
that? Let me just say. So as teenagers have rights and responsibilities, the parents too we have responsibilities towards our children. Necessary guidance. You must, like I said when I was talking about discipline, you have to uh, guide your children in the path that you want them to go. Necessary guidance. Then discipline, like we said, education, training. No parent, no parents should allow his or her child to get married, so long as the child is not yet 18 years old. It's an offense. And such parents will be liable to 5 years imprisonment or a fine of 500,000 naira or both. So child marriage is an offense. Like I said, no, and I said no betrothal too. No tattoo or making of skin marks on children. I see some Gen Z parents online giving their children marks or piercing 3, 4, 5, 6 earring holes on their children's ears. No marks or tattoo should be seen or should be made on the skin of a child. It's also an offense, and the person will be liable to fine or imprisonment or both. No
Comes for
civil.
marks.
Eh?
What about tribal marks?
Ah, tribal mark. Tribal mark is, how would I put it now? It's a mark actually, and if the child grows up and decides to take it up against the parents, he or she can. But it has to be, this act was enacted in 2003. So you cannot come if your mark was made before this act was made.
Before
Your case will not
2003.
will not hold water in court.
Hmm.
Do you understand? So if it happened after this act was
2003.
enacted, then you may have a case in court.
Okay.
Get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So now, no person shall expose or involve a child in the use of narcotic drugs and other substances. It's also an offense, and the person will be liable to imprisonment or fine or both. No child labor. I know we see children hawking on the street and hawking on the street and say they are helping their parents to to make money so that they also can eat and all that. But that is what poverty has done to Nigerians.
The truth is,
Of
many parents are
ordinary
guilty of one offense or the other.
or the
Based on
other.
all what you have listed, many parents are
Yeah,
guilty. Hmm.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Time is not on our side. I have learned a lot, so much. Thank you, Barista. I
Yeah,
just
well,
have three more questions before we call it a day.
okay,
Now, someone
okay,
said when you're talking about people not being aware about their rights, someone said it's not
okay.
about people not reading. It's more about enlightenment and people knowing that the act actually exists. So, what can
Exist.
we do to enlighten people that this right exists? Do you have this right? What can we do on enlightening? Like, how can we go about enlightening people to know that we have rights and this right actually exists?
Programs like this would actually help too. I think you are doing your own part too. So sensitization programs and events like this can be organized. Can be organized by lawyers. Can be organized by lawyers. Can be organized by people who have passion for children, or any. In fact, it might not even be the child right. It might be any other act or any other part of law. Sensitization. Let people come out and educate. Let them organize programs for different classes of people. In fact, especially the illiterate, because even like I said, is online. How many illiterates have access to internet?
Oh, exactly.
So we need to sensitize people, go to the rural areas and inform them, educate them. That's something that can be done because I don't know. I don't think even the government is not even concerned, is not bothered about whether we know our right or we don't know our right. It's none of their business. So it is with the citizens that would help ourselves. Programs should just be organized, educate people, enlighten people. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. The
uh,
two questions left are what piece of advice now is one for teenagers and one for the parents. What is
okay.
one piece of advice that you give teenagers to better understand their parents' responsibilities? That's one. Then the second one is what advice would you give parents to better respect their teenagers' rights?
Okay. What I would say is for both ways, patience and understanding will go, and then a lot of communication will go a long way. Being open. If you as a parent, you have an open heart and open hands to your children, such that they can open up and tell you anything, you've won in life. Oh. You have won in life. I'm telling you. If your teenager can open up to you and tell you anything and everything, and you as a parent, you don't just react and any small thing you hear. In fact, if a child comes for the first time and tells you, "Ah, mommy, this happened," it's like, "Ha! What you later? You did this." That will be the last time you will hear from that child.
Yes, yes,
So we need to be, as parents, we need to be patient. You know, when we're younger and growing up, so we did the mysterious things. Nobody will say he or she has not done any mysterious things.
yes,
We did. So now that we are parents, we've experienced it. We should know that our children might also do the same thing. So now that we have experience, we need to use that experience to guide them in the right path. So even when they bring such things to us, you calm down. First, calm down, process the news before you know how to react. But the moment you shout and you, that will be the last time that child will talk to you. So have a open heart, open hands, be approachable. Let your children be able to come to you and say, ah, even if his friends or our friends are telling him or her something different in school, he will just say okay. But when he gets home and he gets to the mommy and daddy, he say, Mom, did you hear what this person said? Is it true? Then you enlighten him more. "Ah, I don't mind that person. This is how it is supposed to be, not that way." And then definitely he or she will take your own advice. You understand? So it's both ways. The parents need to understand the child. Then no two child are the same.
and the same.
If we have three or four, you have to understand each person based on who he or she is.
Hmm.
That's why some parents will say they have a favorite child, and then they start showing it that this is my favorite. So the other children are not your children. Those ones start feeling less of themselves. So you have to study each person according to his own what's it called now, temperament. You know that this is who this person is, this is this person, and you deal with them accordingly. There are some
The
children that
individual different.
if you yes, some children that if you want to correct them and then you, you talk to them, you talk to them and then you say some things. Some might start picking offenses or start picking or just they'll just say, hey, mom said that and they just hold on to it. And even when you're trying to correct, they won't even think in that line at
Yeah,
all. And they will hold on to it that mommy said this to me. And you might have another child that you just say the same thing for now, say, ah, mommy, I'm sorry, I will change, I will not do this again. So you have to deal with them accordingly. So as teenagers should try to understand their parents that they want the best for them. No parents will say, ah, this is fire. I want to let my child go inside the fire. So teenagers should understand that their parents want the best for them, even if they're not financially capable to give you the best life that you want. Whatever it is they're giving you, just take it as it is because that is their best. It's the best they can offer at that particular moment. So everything is not about money, 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 money. My parents are poor. This is also person's parents. They are treating her very well. No, whatever it is they're giving you, that is what they have at that moment. So just be grateful to God and be grateful to them. Be humble to them, respect them, mm, do what they ask you to do. Be friends with them. Because of course at teenager level, there's no more what's it called? There's no more bending or tweaking to do. You have become a dry fish. You have become a dry fish. So you be friends with your parents. Parents too should learn to relate well with their teenagers. So when I
yeah.
believe with that, understanding, communication, being open, both parents and teenagers would
Teenagers.
relate well and
Hmm. Wow. That's a very, very good one, Barrister Titi. Thank
thank
you
you.
so much. No,
Thank you.
nobody is perfect. No parent is
Nobody
perfect. No teenager
actually
is
no parent
perfect.
is perfect.
So we just have to
Yes.
understand and work together, right? Thank
Yes.
you
Yes.
to our guests who have
You're
stayed up to
welcome.
this moment. Me, I have learned, and I hope that you've also learned. And let us also, play our own role in enlightening others about our rights. We have rights. We have rights. We have like the Child Rights Act. We have freedom. All right. The fact that we don't know doesn't mean it's not there. Because
Yes.
if we take, I'm sure that if we take cases to court, the court cannot say because you don't know, we will not. It's
Mm-hmm.
there. So I
Mm-hmm.
think this say ignorance is
Ignorance,
not an excuse.
ignorance is
I
not
mean,
an excuse. No. Mm-hmm. Yes, ignorance is not an excuse.
okay, so let us play our own part as individuals to let people get enlightened that you have rights actually, and these rights exist. Thank you once again. Our guests will be going backstage as we have come to the end of this episode. Teenagers' rights and parental responsibilities, a legal perspective. Barista, do you have any final say before we go backstage? Anything you want to tell parents or teenagers before we call it a day?
And I think I've said basically all that needs to be said. So, but I would just say that as human beings or as Nigerian citizens, once you feel that um your rights is being violated or somebody or someone is not doing things right by you, feel that you are safe or you are unsafe rather or not secured being with somebody, just communicate with a lawyer, talk to a lawyer. If you feel that police is not your friend, if police is not your friend, talk to a lawyer. There's absolutely everything that you need a lawyer for. From the smallest thing to the biggest thing, a lawyer will definitely be of help. So to a lawyer, and then he or she will definitely guide you on what to do.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. It was nice
Yeah,
having you, Barista
thank you.
Titi. Our guest will be going off
Bye.
stage now. Thank you very much. So, our audience, thank you so much. I hope you have learned one or two. And we have come to the end of this episode. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time, yes, for the next episode. Do well to share the link for people who were not able to join live. You can there's the replay. They can also watch the replay. All right. Till 2 weeks' time, I remain your host for Lakemi. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.